Because his love doesn't exist. Episode 35. Today is the day my real parents start living in my house. I thought all I had to do was move their stuff and greet them inside, but something unexpected happened.
Mr. Choi was discharged and we brought him here from the hospital, but he won't budge from the car no matter what we say.
My father refused to come inside my house.
He knew we were going to stay here for a while. I don't understand why he's acting like this. I wonder what the problem is.
Excuse me. Can you open the door so we can talk? Have you been well? My father started crying. The second our eyes met. His sobs were filled with such sorrow I was afraid he would pass out. And it took all I had to suppress the lump in my throat. I know it may be uncomfortable, but please stay here until you find a new place to stay. I'll do my best to make you feel at home. Even though he was right in front of me. There's so much I want to tell you. I had to beat around the bush. Because I couldn't call my own father, nor Mr. Choi. And there's a lot you have to take care of from now on. I know it's tough, but please keep your spirits up for me. He nodded as if he understood what I was saying. And grabbed my hand.
Wait. Mr. Choi, watch your step.
Dear, are you crying again?
Mansoor took the day off to help my father with the discharge.
I'll stay with Mr. Choi. You go help Mrs. Choi unpack.
Okay, I will, thanks. He said not to bother with it because it was for Mr. Choi, but I can't help feeling more indebted to him. It's confusing where I put what because the boxes all look similar. Do you want some help?
Will you? I'd gladly accept it.
Please don't be so formal. I'm young enough to be your daughter.
You don't mind?
No, of course not. By the way, I'm sorry my house is so small.
Oh, don't be. I like that we came to a house with a yard.
I think you'd like it if we planted some flowers or a tree in the spring. Or maybe some vegetables. Oh, and there's a backyard too, although it's a bit small.
Really?
You can even bury a few crocks for things like red pepper paste or soybean paste.
How does someone so young know that you should bury a crock?
I know a house where there are dozens of crocks in their garden.
I see. It must be hard to manage all of them. You should never marry into such a household. You've got a lifetime of hardship waiting for you.
Haha. I agree. I barely got to talk with my mother in my previous life, but it's great to be able to pour my heart out like this. How did you meet Mr. Choi?
We grew up together in the same neighborhood. Our parents were also close.
A picture of my parents when they were young. I've never seen it. Wow.
And before I knew it, we'd set a date and were reading vows.
Mr. Choi didn't propose to you?
No, he proposed. But he didn't do it with flowers or a ring. It may not be cool for youngsters these days, but... Oh, why don't you take a look while we're at it?
What are you looking for?
I put my valuables here. I know it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is.
Wow, what a beautiful jewelry box made of nacre.
Yes, it's quite beautiful, isn't it? Yunhai's great-grandfather made it himself.
Oh. He must have been good with his hands.
He proposed to his wife with this. And it's been passed down to Mr. Choi, that's why I have it. It would have been passed down to my daughter-in-law if I'd had a son, but I'm thinking of giving it to my grandchild since there's only Yunhai.
How precious. It's a one-of-a-kind item.
It's not one of a kind, but it's true that it's a precious item with a lot of stories to tell.
This is it. Hold on, this wooden comb is.
Here, take this.
It looks exactly like the one Aijin gave me.
There were actually two of them. I heard Yunhai's great-grandfather gifted one to his night school teacher who had taught him.
Night school teacher?
Teacher? As if.
I wanted to hear more about the comb, but I didn't press my mother after seeing the shadows envelop her face. Excuse me, I need the bathroom.
Sure, take your time.
What's going on? Am I mistaking things because it happened so long ago? Just as I suspected. It looks exactly like the one mother showed me. This comb was given to the great-grandmother from the great-grandfather of the Zhang family when he proposed to her. I'm currently safekeeping it after Aijin refused to take it back when I tried to give it to him.
Just keep it. I gave it to you.
Ha! But this is... My mother wouldn't be lying. So why did Aijin have something my great-grandfather made? From what my mother said, my great-grandfather gave one of the combs to his night school teacher. But the great-grandfather of the Zhang family wasn't a night school teacher. What in the world is going on? Wait, it can't be. What happened? I heard a loud noise.
Oh, it's nothing. The bottom of the box that held my husband's company materials fell out.
Thank God you weren't hurt. I'll help you unpack the other boxes. Oh, and a maid will be coming and going starting tomorrow. She'll do the cooking, laundry, and the cleaning of the first and second floor, so you don't have to worry about any household chores.
You hired a maid? But isn't it quite expensive to have a maid work all day long?
It's not surprising my mother thinks I'm having trouble getting by. She knows I worked part-time at the factory. And there's also the possibility Mansour told her about my job from a completely subjective perspective.
She works at night and sleeps during the day, but she's doing something that can be done remotely on a computer.
Oh.
It's obvious what he told her. I get paid much better than before and I have enough saved up to get by without working for a few years. It's not an inheritance or anything. I earned all of it. I don't care how others think of me, but I don't want my mother to pity me or be uncomfortable around me.
Oh, how admirable. What do you do to be so successful at such a young age?
I'm a freelancer. It's a promising line of work. I wanted my mother to see me as a successful person who was raised very well.
Your parents must be so proud of you. Can I ask what your parents do? Seeing as how you're alone, are they living somewhere far in the countryside?
Oh. What should I say?
Mrs. Choi. Are you finished? Mr. Choi is asking for you.
He is? I'll have to go find him.
Okay. And Jessica, let's go have lunch outside. There's a great duck place nearby.
Who's Jessica?
You don't know Jessica Alba? That's you, Alba. Since you hate it when I call you Alba, you're Jessica.
Play on words. Alba in Korean means part-timer.
Are you serious? This is so embarrassing. I was doing good in front of my mother. Now I'm going to lose face.
Jessica and Alba. That's really funny.
It's my first time hearing my mother's laughter. She had on a smile in front of others today, but I knew the truth. Her face gaunt, I saw her sighing deeply in a corner time and time again. My father is currently diagnosed with mutism where he can't talk. And Yunhai isn't answering her calls on time. It's a difficult time for my mother. Since my mother had severe depression in my previous life, I can't help but be worried for her as much as I am for my father.
I don't mean to offend you, Siyeon, but I can't remember the last time I laughed like this. I'll have to tell my husband.
But the second I saw my mother's wide smile, I couldn't care less about saving face.